What only exists because humans are dumb? Several warning markings like, don't put your cat inside your microwave. What the hell kind of cat did you buy that came with a warning label? Right? Mine only says, hand wash only, not dishwasher safe. I think an old woman once sued a microwave company because it didn't say that she couldn't put her dog in there. Well, she had done it and then the dog had died, so that's why such things are there. What? My most upvoted comment is about a lady who melted her dog in a microwave? This is for external use only. Puts Clorox container down. Most warning labels: do not pick up lawnmower while blades are in motion. Do not drive after taking this narcotic painkiller / sleeping pill. Do not use this curling iron internally. I don't remember which comedian said it, but maybe we should remove all warning labels from products and let the stupid people weed themselves out. Then smart people would sue the companies after using the product badly on purpose. Yes, there are stupid people, but there are also really smart lawyers looking for liable companies. True, it's a shame judges don't or can't exercise more discretion in saying, "Counselor, your client shoved a heated curling iron up his ass. Get the f*** out of my courtroom." Warnings on hammers saying this object can cause damage if you strike yourself. Step 1. Hit someone else with the hammer. Step 2. Act outraged discovering it causes harm without being warned against. Step 3. Sue company to your heart's content. Step 4. Profit. Bonus points if you hit someone you don't like. The companies that get you out of timeshares. Today I learned there are companies who get you out of timeshares. I remember my parents spent an entire day in Bali sitting through timeshare presentations because they wanted some freebie that was advertised. On a related note, it may be that there's another thing that exists because humans are dumb. It may be me. Let's not get on a tangent about the topic of TV ads for prescription medication, but recently, last couple of years, they started adding a sentence in the commercials: do not take Trevexica if you are allergic to Trevexica. What happened to make that a thing that they need to mention now? Why the hell would anyone knowingly continue to put a drug in their body if they knew or realized they were allergic to it? Answer: people are stupid. I get that it's to protect them legally, but it's mind-blowing to me that it needs to be said even to do that. The part that gets me is that the statement provides no new information. For example, I would say don't eat Snickers if you are allergic to peanuts. I wouldn't say don't eat Snickers if you are allergic to Snickers. That's a very good point. Flammable tags on underwear. Some of us need that warning label. Licks finger and touches ass. My ex was a flaming asshole, so I'm sure he needed that reminder. Wow. I know a lot of people say warning labels, but let's be honest, warning labels have probably never stopped stupid people from doing stupid things. They're just there to protect corporations from getting lawsuits. But the most ridiculous warnings only exist because some idiot actually did that stupid thing. They're there to protect the company, sure, but they wouldn't be necessary if the dumb thing hadn't already happened in an earlier iteration. Some really strange laws, like handling fish suspiciously, can end you up in jail in the UK. You mean handling a salmon in suspicious circumstances? I can only assume that has to do with squeezing out their eggs for free caviar. Wearing this costume does not enable you to fly. Tag on a Superman Halloween costume. Jerry Seinfeld had this joke. I liked his follow-up. I want to meet the person dumb enough to think that this might make him fly, yet smart enough to think to check the instructions. Pretty sure they have a warning label so that stupid people can't sue them for not putting a label, because stupid people blame others for their stupidity. The Darwin Awards. My favourite is the gasoline truck driver. When they get back to the yard, they would fill the tanks with water to evacuate the leftover fumes. It was late at night and he wanted to see how full his tanks were, but he didn't have a flashlight to see into the tank, but he did have a cigarette lighter. You can see where this goes. A friend of mine did this when we were about 13. He lit a match over the opening of his motorcycle fuel tank. He once had straight hair, about half of what a hospital does. Of course, the side that deals with sickness isn't there because we're dumb, but the part that deals with glass bottles being stuck inside anuses is there because we're dumb. I'd argue half of what the emergency room at a hospital does, but not half of what the entire hospital does. A hospital does a lot of things outside of the ER. Do not eat contents on a claymore mine. Wow. Most warning labels may cause anal leakage. Is this a box of old age you are selling? Nope. Low-fat potato chips. Pyramid schemes, spam email, and pool gates. It's not a pyramid scheme, it's a reverse funnel system. The belief of a flat earth. This is by far my favourite conspiracy just to laugh at, just because why? Who would lie about that? What is there to gain from people thinking the earth is actually a globe? a sense of meaning in life. If they feel like they possess secret knowledge others do not have, it may give them a feeling of purpose. It likely also works as a form of neo-tribalism, where they can find a sense of belonging in a community of flat earthers. That explanation actually makes so much sense to me. Wow. The Emoji Movie. Having watched it, I firmly believe it was the product of Columbia Pictures going through Pixar's trash and finding an initial concept for Inside Out. Let's see. Don't stop on the tracks. Contents are hot. Straw paper can go in your eye. The list goes on and on. Well, I will say this, the biggest talking point on the coffee is hot label is because a woman spilled coffee on herself that wasn't just hot, but close to boiling, somewhere between 180 to 190 degrees Fahrenheit, with the boiling point of water being 212 degrees Fahrenheit, and she suffered third-degree burns and was hospitalized for 6 days due to McDonald's negligence. She sued them, which ended up in a settlement. After this, McDonald's put the warning on their coffee so they couldn't be sued again, and to add insult to injury, put a smear campaign against this woman to completely downplay the incident. I would take a look at Liebeck versus McDonald's restaurants on Wikipedia. Yeah, I've read that story before. It is pretty crazy. Take a look. Zero tolerance policies. You have been banned from Pyongyang. Zero tolerance policies are not about the welfare of the kids, they're about abdicating the administrators from the expectation of good judgment and the accountability that entails. You can't get in trouble for making the wrong decision if there are no decisions. Very true, well put. Peanut allergy warnings on jars of peanut butter. Jar of peanuts. Ingredients: peanuts. Warning: contains peanuts. The warning on my dad's old motorcycle saying, "This is a motorcycle and only to be used as such." I used mine as a ram once and it was pretty ineffective. It only left a small bump on the guy's cars, but it totaled me and my bike. This reminded me of the time my mum told me to break an old fence down when I was little, but I also wanted to ride my bike. So the obvious answer was to ride the bike into the fence at full speed, broke the front wheel and handlebars and smashed my nutsack into the handlebar stem. Fence held its ground. Ground held its fence. Anti-vax. If only all those children in iron lungs back in the 40s knew about lavender oil. Or homeopathic remedies. If you forgot to take your homeopathic medicine, will you overdose? That is very clever if you know anything about homeopathy. Measles. In 2000, measles was nearly eradicated, but then anti-vaxxers brought it back to popularity. I should mention it was nearly eradicated in the USA. Measles is still very prevalent in other places around the globe. There was this random anti-vaxxer who literally said, instead of vaccines, we should take a bit of the virus and inject it. They've devolved so far they're starting to loop around again. When you anti-vax so hard, you accidentally invent vaccines. Babysitters. If babies weren't so stupid, you wouldn't need one. If loser unemployed babies would just get off their fat ass and get a job, society would be so much more productive. I don't know why, but this made me laugh so hard. Warning signs next to large waterfalls, cliffs, and the other potentially lethal terrain. Sometimes I can understand at one of our old vacation spots there was a cliff that you couldn't see until it was too late, popular hiking trail. Bolton Strid probably deserves the signs too. Doesn't look like much, but it's actually extremely dangerous, as in if you fall in, you probably just die. Holy shit, I just looked up that river out of curiosity, now I'm afraid I might accidentally fall into the Strid despite me living in Germany. Yeah, after reading this one I looked it up too. It's kind of terrifying, not gonna lie. The word ambulance written in reverse on an ambulance, for those people that don't realise that the huge vehicle behind them with the flashing lights and siren is, in fact, an ambulance. So that's what those are. Welp, seems like I'm the reason the death rates in ambulances are so high in my area. Gluten-free on bottled water. Fun fact, many shampoos and body washes contain gluten and will make people, like my mother with celiac, as well as other issues relating to gluten and other health issues I'm not getting into, break out. Sadly, these labels are necessary because it's in a ridiculous amount of shit. It sounds crazy, but it might mean it's not filtered out in online shopping. Some things you would never expect to have gluten in them do. As the world moves away from plastic straws and looks for biodegradable options, some actually have wheat in them. I've had customers who took this by surprise and now they have to check everything. It may sound ridiculous, but there are actually genuine reasons for it. Reality TV stars. Short but sweet. Do not inject Lysol. Slowly pulls needle out. Caught this comment just in time. School. Listen here, you little shit. No, he's got a point. Modern politics. If we were smarter, there would be a better collective decision-making process. Like bees. Yeah, instead of elections, let the candidates stand before a swarm of bees and let the bees decide. Whoever gets the most bees to land on them shall be the president. That sounds like a bit of a hive mind decision. Humans, me especially, upvote for your honesty. People who genuinely believe 5G is bad and that coronavirus is fake. When I'm saying people who genuinely believe 5G is bad, I'm talking about the people who blame it for stuff like coronavirus, Flint, Michigan, unvaccinated babies dying surprisingly, etc. A moment of silence for our fallen brothers and brotherines who had to grow up with crazy parents. Brotherines. Wolverines, but brothery. TV ads for water. I saw some people in the comments trying to say that, different water has different flavour, but yeah, come on. Daylight saving time. Daylight savings time is really just an odd response to rigid working hours. The majority of these comments. And I think that's a good place to end.